They don't get it. The entitled players in the WNBA who mistakenly believe that they are owed something, they just don't get it. And I don't feel sorry for the diva of Dump Divas, Kat Engelbert. I damn sure don't feel sorry for Adam Silver, who will potentially have to step in and deal with these entitled divas. I have no sympathy for Adam Silver and Kathy Engelbert because they created this entitlement. They created this belief that WNBA players are special. These are elite athletes. These are the best basketball players in the world. WNBA players aren't even the best basketball players in the cities that these dumps are located in. There are high school teams, there are prepubescent boys who are more talented than the unbelievably bad basketball that we see in the WNBA dump. You know, the other day, I took my daughter out to brunch. At 17 years old, it was finally time to have that dreaded talk about her getting a job. Now, in her mind, it's kind of a weird message coming from me because I don't have a job. She sees me doing what I love every day for a living, and for her, that's reality. I was ready for the typical teenage excuses as to why she doesn't have time for a job. She's very active in sports. She's on the high Q team band. She makes all A's and B's taking college classes as a junior in high school. She got a 26 recently on her first attempt at taking the ACT, so she's already qualified for partial scholarships. She's a great kid, very high achiever. She's self-motivated. But I told her, you're not getting a job because you really need the money. You're not getting a job as some form of punishment. You're not getting a job because you have nothing better to do with your time. I know you already have a full schedule with all your extracurriculars, which is great, but you still need a job. And the reason you need a job, you need to learn the value of money. You see, right now, you fill your tank with gas on the bank of KC. Before you go to the movies with your friends, you ask mom for $40. 3 hours later, you come home broke. Next day, you ask for another $40. You need to learn how long it takes to make $40. Because if you never learn how long it takes someone in your current position who has no skills, no experience, at 17 years old, you haven't developed a skill set that you can monetize, which means you're going to be working jobs that pay you accordingly, minimum wage. You need to get this over with now while you have no bills. There's no pressure on you to support yourself. You need to do this now, so you can figure out what you don't want to do with the rest of your life. And one day, maybe you will figure out a way to generate $40 while you're asleep at night doing nothing. Long story short, you need to learn the value of money, which is clearly something that WNBA players have never been taught. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. So I get to the sponsor for today's video, my good friends at Sugar Mountain Trading. As you guys know, I have got young nephews. Oldest is 8, youngest nephew is 6. Like most young kids, they deal with various skin ailments. Psoriasis, eczema, itchy, red, dry skin. Hell, I'm not a doctor. I'm not qualified to diagnose what it is. I just know that it's a nuisance they no longer had to deal with because my sister started using oat and honey soap from Sugar Mountain Trading. This soap is ideal for sensitive skin, offering a gentle yet effective solution for various dermatological issues. Its American-made origins guarantees the highest standards of production. It also comes available with CBD. So if you're dealing with skin issues and pain at the same time, CBD version, It'll take care of both. You'll be pain-free and smelling like fresh raspberries. Hell, that is literally the reason my wife likes to use it. She uses the standard CBD oil for pain, but she prefers the soap because she thinks it smells good. Like I said, oat and honey soap. It is available with or without CBD. So become pain-free while smelling fresh today by clicking the link in the description or the pinned comment below. Use my promo code BTL25, BTL25. Receive 25% off your first purchase with Sugar Mountain Trading. Headline at ESPN. WNBA projecting huge losses in latest proposal from unbelievably entitled players. WNBA players aren't very good at a lot of things. There is a reason that the WNBA is the only nominee that has been nominated 3 consecutive years for the Huge Embarrassing Failure Awards. Hell, this league is such a failure. They have been nominated 3 times, and they have never come close to winning. There aren't too many things that WNBA players are good at. Making layups, jumping high enough to grab the net. Not the rim, just the net. Walking and dribbling simultaneously. Selling tickets, drawing ratings. But to their credit, there are 2 things that WNBA players are brilliant at doing. Number 1, they are really good at manufacturing drama. WNBA players are very good at generating controversy. And number 2, these lovely ladies, they have this incredible ability to spend money while being completely incapable of generating it. Translation, they are the best in the business at losing money. Throughout the history of this toxic turd of a league, it is estimated that the WNBA has lost over $300 million. Recently, the WNBA Players Union, the union responsible for convincing pretend basketball players that they're actually worth millions of dollars, recently, the WNBA Players Union, they submitted a proposal to the league. Dear evil billionaires, we have revised our original demands. We are no longer demanding million-dollar contracts. No, no, no! We are now demanding 30% of the league's gross revenue. If our demands are not met, we refuse to pretend to play basketball. Obviously, the league automatically rejected this absurdity. According to ESPN, if the WNBA had accepted this ludicrous proposal, the league would lose $700 million. The average collective bargaining agreement lasts between 5 and 7 years, which means instead of losing their usual $10 million a year, WNBA players are submitting a proposal that would have the league losing $100 million a year. Keep in mind, over the last 12 months, and especially over the last 6 or 7 months, WNBA players have been playing the role of the ultimate victim. They have been claiming that Kathy Engelbert is negotiating in bad faith, when the reality is, Kat Engelbert is trying to prevent this toxic turd from being flushed, while entitled WNBA players, they are hastening their own demise. Someone please make it make sense. This is another prime example of how WNBA players have absolutely no idea how business works. They don't understand how revenue is generated. For starters, like I have been telling you guys for months, WNBA players see the hundreds of millions of dollars in expansion fees, and they expect to receive their fair share of that revenue. Problem is, expansion fees are a one-time influx of cash. Doesn't happen every year. The vast majority of that cash, it is spread to existing dumps throughout the league. If I had to guess, they are spreading it around to help pay off decades of debt. But the league itself, they see a minimal portion of the revenue from expansion fees. So WNBA players, they are basically negotiating for a piece of nothing. Their proposal also demands 30% of the league's gross revenue, not net revenue, gross revenue. That is a very important distinction. In 2024, the WNBA generated around $200 million in gross revenue. If WNBA players got their way, they would have received $60 million. But here's the problem. And this is why the league will never agree to this proposal. It doesn't matter how much revenue is generated. The only thing that matters is how much profit is generated. You can generate $1 trillion in revenue, but if your expenses are $2 trillion, you have got a first-class seat on the Bruce caboose headed directly towards bankruptcy. Even with $200 million in revenue generated, the WNBA lost between $40 and $50 million in 2024. If you add the additional $60 million that WNBA players are demanding to keep for themselves, the WNBA would have lost $100 million that year. Are you starting to understand why I have been telling you guys for the past year that the 2026 WNBA season is going to be canceled? There is absolutely no way the WNBA and the NBA are going to agree to these terms. The deadline to reach an agreement is next Friday. I think it's January 9th. And they're not even close. And the reason they're not close is because WNBA players are trying to swindle the league out of millions of dollars they haven't earned. Think about it. Think about this from a player's perspective, especially older veteran players like Natasha Cloud, who are nearing the end of their WNBA careers. They don't care about the future of the league. The only thing they care about is making as much money for themselves as possible. And the longer these negotiations go, the less valuable the WNBA becomes. This is not the NBA. It's not the NFL, Major League Baseball. This is not a league with decades of history. This is not a league where generations of families have grown up watching together. Most people have no emotional ties to the WNBA. If this toxic turd disappeared, no one is going to care. They only cared about one player, Caitlin Clark. And the longer she is off the court, the longer she is out of the mainstream, the less valuable Caitlin Clark becomes. WNBA players are trying to leverage that necessity. They are trying to pressure the league into caving to their unreasonable demands. But there's one thing that they are forgetting. There's one tiny detail that they're overlooking. The NBA does not need the WNBA. NBA owners do not need WNBA franchises. If the season is canceled, they are saving hundreds of millions of dollars. So, the only thing WNBA players are doing right now is contributing to their own demise. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow.